game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Terrorists win.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA. ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA. ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mazer, and on the last night of ESL Pro League in North America, we are coming at you live with compLexity versus Ghost Gaming. Right away, it looks like Ghost is taking a lot of utility towards that A-bomb site, and this is a big investment on the pistol round. You can't have a lot of utility, obviously, you want that armament, so putting all this utility here, it's almost certainly not a fake. Now, Rix, he's going to charge into the bomb site, and we did know him as an entry kind of duo player from his time on compLexity and Echo Fox, and he's proving that there. And now Connor manages to find a quick 2 frags on rotators that are coming into the bomb site before Android can quickly follow it up. Now Slemmy is getting a kill of his own. Now Android, he's important to note here. The last time he played this lineup, when it was B's Money Crew, he actually dropped 53 kills in a single map. So Android is definitely, in my opinion, the player that we should be watching right now, despite the fact that technically Def is the highest rated player in the server. Ghost Gaming, they managed to ride that bomb plant and that, or excuse me, not that bomb plant, but that taking of the A-bomb site into a round win. And so that's the pistol for them. Now compLexity, they force up in, you know, traditional NA fashion. They go with the kitchen sink buy, Scout, Deagles, CZs, why not? Whereas Ghost Gaming, they have something very similar, actually. 2 AKs, 2 Gleals, and a MAC-10. Now Ghost Gaming, they need to use their range to their advantage right now. There's probably going to need a lot of engagements over towards A. Now Android does find a quick kill, but of course he loses out in the trade before Wardell falls to Slemmy's Diva. And that will lead to a bomb plant on the B site for Ghost Gaming. Now compLexity, they're coming in, trying for the retake. We got to keep in mind, none of them have kits, so they need to be moving rather quickly right now. And Seb putting a stop to that, taking down Slemmy with the Gleal headshot. And this should be a cinched up round for Ghost Gaming, especially as Rix manages to peek out and find the kill on the depth. Now Yacer, he's not quite out of the fight yet. He manages to find one final frag, but of course it's not enough, and Rix will find him with the AK and take him down. So compLexity this round completely foregoing the B-bomb site in favor of more of an A-site stack and keeping control of Ivy as well. And it looks like it's paying off for them as the terrorist team is streaming into the A-bomb site, and Def actually managed to find a nice long-range USP kill, but of course Connor said that they're also follow it up very, very quickly and kind of reduce compLexity to shreds here. And at the end of the bloodbath, only Def is left standing, and he's, of course, in heaven trying to figure out something he can do, but he eats so much nade damage it essentially takes him out of the round. Finally, compLexity coming into a buy round here, and interestingly enough, they choose to give Peter on the first gun round, they choose to give him an off. And Peter, he really is a very inconsistent player, and when he's hitting his shots, he'll essentially lock down the server for compLexity, but if he's on one of his cold days, that op is going to be a very expensive paperweight. It'll be interesting to see what he's feeling today, because that really could make or break this game. Android starting the round off really strong for his team, managed to find a quick frag, and Peter follows it up with one, but can't save his teammate Wardell with the off of his own, peeking out and grabbing Android. Now, that's pretty much ceded the B-bomb site to Ghost Gaming. They managed to get out and get the plant. But of course, compLexity, they still have 4 people up against Ghost Gaming's, now 2 as Connor falls. This is actually looking pretty good for them, but still no kit. It's wild to me that in the gun round they have no defuse kits. Now Wardell, if he's smart here, he just plays with time and hides behind the smoke and manipulates it really well just to keep them off of it until that 10-second music starts playing. Because again, no defuse kits, there's nothing they can do. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Wardell was able to stick that out quite as long as he needed to, and Yacer is going to grab the bomb just in time. As we come into the next round here, Ghost Gaming still on a bye despite that loss, and compLexity obviously bolstering their economy just a little bit, but they need to win here. They can't allow themselves to be reset, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this situation. It looks like they're going for still a bit of an A-bomb site stack and just sending Android, probably the strongest player on the team, or debatably so, one of the strongest players on the team. He's anchoring B site by himself. What I don't like, though, is how aggressively he's positioned towards that B-bomb site when he is by himself. Regardless, the first action of the round will happen on the A-bomb site, and that'll be Ye taking down Connor, and Wardell following it quickly in Ivy with the kill of his own. Now, Slummy, he does manage to stop the brunt of the charge, taking out Wardell, but B gets through. Luckily for compLexity, though, Peter's in a good position to shut that down before it really gains any traction. And now it's just Rix and Seb left alive. Now this duo does have a lot of firepower, but it's going to be a little tricky. They're separated, they don't have the bomb, and now Rix has fallen down as well. So it's Seb in a 1 versus 3. It'll be interesting to see how he handles this. How much confidence does he have? Does he think he can survive in the 1 versus 3? Now he's left alone so early in the round that saving is really probably in his head not seeming like a very good idea right now, because this leaves a lot of time for the counter-terrorist to hunt him down. So let's see how he chooses to react to this. He might go for exit frags, he will try to get out and try to hunt him down, or he might try to take on the 1v3 by himself. He does manage to find the first frag, and he barely loses any health coming, and that'll be another round on the board for compLexity, finally forcing Ghost Gaming onto their first eco of the game. And it looks like compLexity have finally abandoned the A-bomb site stack setup, opting instead to have Peter go for a very aggressive pick that pays off. Connor going to die right early in the round. That's a pretty big opening for compLexity. When you lose a man that early as Ghost Gaming, it pretty much eliminates the rush option for you. And on ecos, the rush really is a big part of your arsenal, regardless of jokes about, you know, any teams not being smart and a rush being a dumb strategy. You need to close the distance when you're ecoing, when you're on pistols. You need to get in the enemy's face as quickly as you can, and a rush allows you to do exactly that. Def and Seb playing a little bit of a game there over on Green Train. Def going to win out in the end, though, takes him down with a headshot off the M4. And now there's simply only 3 Ghost Gaming players remaining. And between them, only 1 set of chest armor, no head armor, and of course, no rifles either. Tough times for them. And B, he's probing over towards that B-bomb site, but he's taking on an op with a deagle. It's a very risky move. Somehow he survives with his life, but of course is flashed out, and then he has to fall off. And they've tipped their hand. They've given away their positioning here. When you only have 2 players left and no eco, you're not going to space across the map. Now, Android, he's worked up in a great spot. He manages to find 2 before Rix can do anything about it. And it will allow Rix into the bomb site. It will allow him to get the bomb down, or at least to fake the plant and then get the kill on the counter-terrorist as he approaches him. He grabs the op, but unfortunately, the flank will take him down before he can really equip it and do any good with it. Finally back on a full gun round, however, Ghost Gaming, no offer in the hands of Wardell. And he is another make it or break it player, just like Peter. He's a little bit less inconsistent, but still, his fragging power should not be underestimated. It's definitely a huge factor in Ghost's success, so the fact that he doesn't have it should be a little bit concerning for him. However, they're still able to find the first pick in the round, removing Yaster from the equation. And B, furthering their advantage as he comes out and finds Peter. And Peter as well, being the opper, that's a lot of firepower to take out, especially this early on in the round, and especially with impact into it. Now, Slummy and Depth both finding a couple kills of their own, evening things out, and it's an even 2-on-2 after Connor sounds off, taking down the famed IGL. And Seb with the flank will take down Death as well, and this leaves Android alone in the 1 versus 2. Now, if there was anyone else, I'd say it was pretty much a given that he loses this, but this is Android. The man's insane. He's down to 9 HP, but he's not giving up. He grabs his AK and he wants to move. He wants to try to get some sort of positioning advantage on counter 93 right now, but it's going to be tough. I'm not sure if he knows where the bomb is down. I'm not sure if he knows the bomb is down at all. So right now it's all about figuring out which bomb site Connor wishes to take and then either defending there or retaking there. And defending when you have only 9 HP and you're the last man left, it's no easy task. Android would be much better off if he... retaking is no easy task, so Android would be much better off if he makes it to the bomb site first and kills Connor as he comes into push. Now this would be a very impressive 1 versus 2 if he can pull it out, and he does. Android with the positioning, he sneaks around the map, climbs on top of the train, and takes Connor down with a couple taps. Tries to grab the op, but a little bit too late, but that doesn't matter. A very impressive clutch has passed by for Android, and I'm sure the mates in the TeamSpeak are congratulating him for that. And Ghost, unfortunately, going to be forced onto a force buy again after losing that 2 versus 4. Got them kicking themselves right now, and so it'll be interesting to see how they play this, because last time they were on a force buy, it's almost like they waited for compLexity to push into them, and obviously that didn't work out. They were picked off 1 by 1 and ended up losing the round and not really doing much damage either. So let's see if they change up their strategy right now. It looks like they're a little bit more closely clustered together, but as I say that, they're spreading out, so only time will tell what they plan on doing right now. And it looks like 3 of those Ghost Gaming players are going to be crawling their way towards Ivy. Let's see what they plan on doing with that. Now, Ivy, that hallway, closing the gap is going to be very difficult with no utility, but if they can manage to at least get 2 players on the other side of that gap without getting killed, they have a lot of map control to work with. Yacer starts things off this thing, though, finding the first kill on a Wardell, and here and starting off of the ones of their own. Now, players trying to get through Ivy, but they come through the smoke and they have no idea what they're aiming at. And of course, there's 2 players there, which just adds to the confusion, and they're taken down pretty quickly. And so the last man alive will be Rix, and he gives away his position, and then Peter shoots him off the tracers. Now, that's no indication of how well Peter's going to perform throughout the match, but it was a cool shot to pull off. Now as we begin anew, 2 counter-terrorist players pushing down Ivy, and this is actually going to be a lot of information that they can collect as long as they both don't immediately die as they come around this corner. Let's see how they make it work. Rix actually manages to spray down both of them and pretty much stops that in its tracks, and the fact that they just handed away 2 lives like that is going to kill them. They're in a 3 versus 5 right now. Rix does lose a lot of health off of it, but that's nothing compared to the lives lost and the lack of information gained on compLexity's side. Now Ghost patting themselves on the back for being able to grab those 2 frags, but unfortunately that elation doesn't last for very long as Yacer and Android find the frag piece, and now it's pretty much even again with Ghost at a slight disadvantage, at least until Rix, the monster that he is, manages to find a kill on an Android. Now a couple nades going into the B bomb site. And Peter there, he's posted up, he sees 1 person, but unfortunately he whiffs the shot. Now he's reeling here. He's trying to get the frag off, but at the same time, he doesn't want to expose himself, but unfortunately, he peeks just the wrong angle, and Wardell takes him out, offs him right there, because he does have that positional advantage. And now, Yacer, last man standing, and with 25 health, you're almost certainly not going to clutch this, so I like what he's doing here, and it appears to be just going for exit frags, and when he realizes that none are probably heading his way, he backs off. And with the clock ticking down, Yacer looks to be saving that M4 into the next round. And if you take a quick look at his team's money here, that's obviously a great decision because he still will be going with a buy round. And so that M4 is just going to soften that economic cost by just a little bit. I'm a little bit less of a fan of saving when you're going into save rounds anyway, because then you just have an M4 alongside pistols. It's a mismatch, and that's not going to kill you. It's not a bad thing to do. It's just, it's not as helpful as bringing a rifle to a gun round. So a little bit of utility being dumped out, and that actually allows Cole to take a pretty advanced position in Pop Dog. They have two players there, one watching the ladder, but of course they're going to need a little bit of nade damage, and one trying to watch, make sure they don't get flanked from main. This is very unorthodox positioning right now from both teams, really. Ghost split up, although of course Ivy and one towards B is not that unusual, but having Wardell over at A, it is in a situation like that, but it pays off as Peter gets a little bit too aggressive and Wardell keeps him on, is taking him down. Death eating a little bit more nade damage. I'm not sure why Ghost keeps dropping the frags down there. I'm wondering if, why compLexity keeps dropping flags down there. I'm wondering if compLexity made a little bit of noise and gave themselves away to the terrorist side. Slummy picking up the AWP. That's not a combination you see too often, but he's making it work. Takes down Wardell. And as I mentioned before, that's a pretty big piece of firepower for Ghost Gaming. You don't want to be missing that. And now Yacer returns to watch the flank, but unfortunately he'll only get one before he's traded up by Seb. And this is essentially an even matchup. The only disparity being Slummy on the AWP, but that's not the weapon he's most known for. And while I'm sure he's not bad with it, he wouldn't have the same impact as Peter or Wardell. And that's just proven as B comes in the bomb site, takes down Slummy. Death does manage to trade it out, but of course, that just evens it right back out. So 15 seconds on the clock right now. Ghost Gaming, they drop the bomb and they're working their way to the plant. They have to get this down or they have to get both frags. And both frags are not going to happen. Now B, he manages to find the kill on an Android, and somehow, immediately after I say both frags aren't going to happen, Ghost Gaming just decides to get balls to the wall aggressive and seal out the round through frags and screw the plant. So now we're going to see a pretty quick, aggressive A-take. Wardell immediately getting the pick on a Slummy. But of course, compLexity's stuck on all pistols, so it's not like they could have done much anyway. And they're stacked outside of the B bomb site, held off for a minute by a Molotov. And this is going to allow Ghost to both get the bomb planted and then deeply, deeply entrench themselves, giving compLexity almost no chance at winning this round. That being said, it makes no sense to not try. They're just on pistols. They have nothing worth saving. They managed to grab one AK off of Seb's body. And Yacer actually uses that AK to find a kill on a Rix as well. Now it's a 2-on-3, and it's looking a little bit more winnable, but of course B comes around the corner and finds one very quickly, and Wardell has a bead on Yacer. Things are falling apart pretty quickly for compLexity. It looks like they were clawing their way back into that round, but now Yacer cowering in the corner of apartment. Although that being said, he does manage to grab a frag off of it, so nothing ventured, nothing gained. Full arsenals across both teams. One thing I don't see a lot, and I'm sure for good reason, is the double off setup on CT side on train. And it doesn't make a lot of sense, I'll admit it, but I'd like to see it once or twice, just for the style points, you know? Completely lock down A and B at the same time if you were good enough, which almost no teams are, but, you know. Ridiculous theory crafting aside, we're seeing real practical results now as two terrorist players have pushed up pretty far into Brown Hall. Now they've held it for their own team. They're making sure no CTs push through, but they're being pretty honest over there. Not a lot of peeks coming out yet. And Ghost plays like that a lot. They play pretty honest, pretty late into the round. Don't worry too much about getting early frags, and it's working for them so far. On a very CT-sided map, they still manage to squeak out a round ahead. In a quick exchange, Android finds a kill, but Seb trades him out, and Peter, in the back of B bomb site, manages to grab a quick frag to avenge his fallen friend. But Rix immediately grabbing Ivy control. They push through, but wow, he actually finds a second headshot onto Death as well on top of Green Train. And it's a 2-on-2, same weapons, but a massive utility advantage to Ghost Gaming. And the counter-terror is being completely shut out of the A-bomb site with the A's death. Now, Peter, he manages to find the first frag, and this is really the moment where he proves if he's on to number, if he's off to it. Let's see if he can manage to find this second shot. Unfortunately not, but of course, Rick's positioning was so good there, it would have been hard to catch for anyone, regardless of how well they're playing. So a lot of nades being dumped into A main, just trying to get some early damage, but unfortunately for compLexity, Ghost Gaming has different plans as they rush over to that B bomb site. Ironically enough, B carrying the bomb on his back. And of course, coming into that B bomb site is actually a really good decision right now. If you base your push off of upper, you gain a massive range advantage when you're working against an ecoing team, and that's exactly how Ghost Gaming play this round. They come through upper, and because they didn't go out lower, there's pretty much no close range chokepoints that they had to worry about, and they managed to grab the site pretty easily. Now, Slummy, he goes in with P250, and for those of you who don't know about Slummy, the man's a P250 god. Go watch his Rust highlights. It's actually hilarious how long he's been honing his skill with that weapon across different platforms. And he does manage to find quick 2 frags off of that, but unfortunately, it's just not enough. Especially as Def is caught with the flank with his back turned. And just to add insult to injury, if Yacer couldn't win the round, at least he could take Ricks out, and that actually will do quite a bit of damage to the terrorist side economy. Not really enough to hurt them or break them even, but just enough that maybe if compLexity win this round, for example, they're going to be even weaker on the next round and won't be able to put up quite the force buy that they wanted. It's little things like that that can be cumulative over the course of a half, and they can really change the impact of a game. In compLexity, they put a lot of manpower on the A bomb site yet again. This is a strategy they used earlier on in the half. They found some success with it, but mostly they just got run over, and then they managed to string together 3 or 4 rounds using a similar style to this that they would modify every once in a while, and that's really the biggest thing. It doesn't really matter exactly how you play, as long as you're changing up just enough that the terrorists can't get used to your weaknesses, and that's really what Cole is doing here, and it is working to some extent, although Yaster just gets a little bit too aggressive, and that will be the end of him. He gets taken down. And now Slummy, he manages to peek out and find a quick kill onto somebody looking in the wrong direction, unfortunately enough for him. And Ricks, of course, the monster that the man is, finds Slummy immediately after, avenging his friend. Android beaten down, losing a lot of health, and Seb comes in and taking out Peter as well. Things falling apart pretty quickly for compLexity here, especially as Seb. He manages to find the first, unfortunately not the second of those 2 frags. And now it's Android versus Connor and Ricks. And I'm not liking Android's odds. He's a monster of a player. I love watching him perform over and over again, but with 23 health up against 2 full HP players, you just don't have a chance, and that's not really your fault. Just the way the cookie crumbles. And yeah, people pointing out that I did miss compLexity earning those style points last round with the double off. Now, this round, they traded one of the offs for the scouts, which is you're losing style points and you're gaining foolishness points. And that's being proved as compLexity losing a lot of men early, but they actually do manage to keep it even. And of course, those off and the scout both still alive later on into the round. Now, the one thing about the scout is it just doesn't work that well on its own. If you have another teammate closer to the enemy that can move in and pick off the weakened players, then it's a pretty good strat. But by itself, which is probably the situation Slummy will end up in now, it's not great, unfortunately. B, he's the last man standing for his team, and he's trying to make something happen here, but again, very, very low on HP. And, of course, because he's so lit, that scout gains back a lot of what I earlier noted as a disadvantage to the weapon. And that'll actually be the end of the half. This game flying by. Ghost Gaming leading 9-6. compLexity kind of reeling here. And of course, very CT-sided map that Train is. Ghost Gaming having a lead going into the CT side, they almost certainly have this map on the lock unless compLexity have a couple nasty tricks up their sleeve. But we will not know until the second half begins. And until then, we're going to kick it to music. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we launch directly into the second half of Ghost Gaming versus compLexity. I'd like to remind you, I am Mazer. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Now let's see what Ghost can do here. If they pull off this pistol round, they'll have a very, very comfortable lead as they begin the second half, but of course compLexity has every incentive to not let that happen. The terror side is rough as it is. They want those first 3 rounds kind of for free. Let's see if they can grab them. Death going to be managing to find a frag, and Peter and Slummy both sounding off with their own. This is going very, very well for compLexity, as only Rix and Seb are left alive, and Rix with almost no health, and health matters a lot more when you're against pistols than it does against rifles, and so that low health really going to hurt him. He falls over, and it leaves Seb in 1 versus 3. Now on a pistol, once your head armor is, or once your chest armor is damaged, there's simply no reason at all to save. So Seb gets out there, he tries the 1v3, but compLexity just a little bit too smart for them, and sets up the crossfire and takes him down. So Ghost Gaming electing for an A-bomb site stack, and we actually saw that a lot from compLexity as well in the last half, and it didn't work for them that well then. But it looks like Ghost is finding a little bit more success with it, managing to find 2 frags to open up the round, and somehow they're doing it with CZs against rifles and SMGs. I'm very impressed by that, but Connor gets a little bit a little bit too anxious to grab a firearm, and he'll get punished for it, giving up what Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion. Android finding a frag for himself as well, and it leaves us in a 3-on-3, but you have to keep in mind that weapon advantage lies squarely in complexity's hands. 2 EMPs and a Galil will turn pistols to mincemeat, as Slimmy displays for us, grabbing B with the headshot. Wardell, he does manage to make the scout work, despite how much trash I talked about it in the first half. Now again, 2-on-2, but just like how low health matters a lot more with pistols, it matters a lot more with SMGs and the lower tier rifles like Galils and FAMASs as well. Basically anything that does not have that one-shot headshot potential becomes a much bigger threat if you're at low health. Not really going to be a factor though when Seb shoots Android in the back, and now Ghost Gaming have pulled up the advantage here. Seb taps the bomb for the fake defuse, but they really have no idea where Slummy is sitting, and for whatever the reason, Slummy ignores that fake defuse, but he got lucky, and he wasn't able to defuse. Now Seb, now he goes for the real fake, but unfortunately, not able to get the frag in the end, and Slummy sealing out the 1 versus 3. By the skin of his teeth, no less, but the man is an in-game leader. You expect him to be able to be smart, you expect him to be good under pressure, and he displayed both of those qualities in spades right there. Ghost Gaming going for another almost a bomb site stack, this time sending Seb by himself with a Zeus in a brown hole. If he gets a kill off of that, I'm going to be very, very pleased. That was the style points. Slummy, of course, going to jump into that B-bomb site, or excuse me, that A-bomb site, playing the exact role the MAC-10 player is supposed to play. Jump around, be hard to hit, and be a distraction and allow your teammates to get in the site, and he does that very, very well. 2 kills in the process, not his job, but an added bonus for sure. Android will find the remaining 2 to clean things up for complexity. And now we're tied at an even 9-9 as we head into the first gun round of the half. Ghost Gaming finally able to put some real steel in their hands and square off evenly against complexity. Connor will find the first frag to open things up here. Not quite the person you'd typically imagine as the aggressive, kind of get in your face and get the first pick for the counter-terrorist side, but he makes the role work. Unfortunately, though, he is traded out, losing any advantage he might have gained. Now, Death coming through Ivy, he's going to find the frag on a B, and I cannot believe that Ivy was being watched as sparsely as it was. Ghost Gaming punished for that mistake pretty hard, and Yacer actually tearing a hole into the A-bomb site. It was that Heaven kill that really impressed me, that pixel-perfect headshot, now it leaving Seb alone in the 1v3, and we've seen him in a lot of 1v3s before. He is that B-bomb site player in complexity. They like the A-bomb site. Now Peter, he jumps around the corner, playing that traditional MAC-10 role, only this time with a UMP-45. Same idea, though. But he'll get punished for it. Seb flicking him and taking him down because no one is speaking with him. Now, Seb manages to find one, and it's so close, but Android just a little bit too quick for him and wallbangs him as he tries to fall into cover. Complexity taking the lead for the first time this game. It's time to see what Ghost Gaming can do here. Back against the wall, they choose a little bit of armor and CZs pretty much across the board. And a lot of frags being exchanged very, very quickly. Ye going down, Wardell falling as well. Seb, though, almost managing to grab him. Of course, Death can't let that go unanswered, finding one for himself before Connor finally seals the real advantage for Ghost Gaming with the CZ75. The bomb does manage to go down towards that A bomb site, though, and obviously Ghost Gaming, because they have players in B, they're going to know it's towards A, and so they're going to start in with a retake. Now, Peter does have an op, so the most crucial thing that Ghost Gaming can be doing right now is get in that op's face immediately. You're going to lose one person as you charge in, but the other 2 should be there to trade him out within an instant, within the blink of an eye. But of course, they take the wrong engagement first. They run into Android, and that man's AK is just too strong, and it leaves Rix alone 1 versus 2, but he's actually in the site, but no kit. And unfortunately, I think he's just holding this angle for a little bit too long, and he's going to lose his chance to defuse here. Of course, he knows that And so he tries to get away. He tries to maybe seal out a frag at the end of the round, but it doesn't happen. Sprayed down by Android. Can't say he didn't put up a good fight, though. And now we're back to a bit more of a standard setup, 2 on B and 3 on A. Of course, 1 watching Ivy. Ghost Gaming, like I mentioned earlier, learning from their mistakes, not about to be flanked from Ivy again. A lot of pressure coming in from that B bomb site, though, but compLexity not even resembling committed. Their bomb is an Ivy, and once you take Ivy control, you really can go anywhere. So they can essentially send 2 players to be a probe over at that B bomb site, and if they don't like what they see, they can change up the plan and go A on the fly. Now Death, he'll take out Rix, and that'll get the ball rolling, but Wardell finds a quick 2 kills of his own. And I like the intelligence on him. He gets the 2 kills, and he realizes, I'm at a disadvantage now, and he falls off, and he gets his life as a result. At least until a little bit later, when he gets into a fight with Android, and there's no winning against Android. He's a tank. B with the pre-ignition of a psychic of a $5 medium at the local mall. Turns right as he's about to get flanked and manages to take down the aggressor. And so things will square off with Seb and Android in 1 versus 1. Now, Android, I would say, has the better raw aim, but Seb, he's in these clutch situations time after time. He has a lot of experience with it. And he squares off evenly with Android now, who does have the bomb and is going to be moving up. He could grab the op if he so chooses, but Android feels much more confident with the rifle, I'd imagine. Unfortunately for him, it's just a positioning thing. When you come into a bomb site and you're by yourself and you have no utility, you have so many different angles you have to clear at once, and it's almost an impossible task, as he finds out the hard way. compLexity, or excuse me, Ghost Gaming, again choosing to only send 1 player towards the B bomb site, and he's going to get in a little bit of a fight with Death here. And Seb, he's playing this interesting strat where he just kind of jiggle peeks, and as soon as he sees someone, he doesn't even take the fight, he mollies and then he smokes, and that's a lot of utility to stop a rush. And normally it'd be great if a rush was actually coming, but it looks like Death is just baiting out that utility. He's the only one from his team who's poised to head into the B bomb site. And I have to say, that's a smart play. Now a lot of stuff is coming in A. Of course, all the utility from the B players is gone, so a retake is almost impossible. Now, yay, it's 2 on 3, but Seb, he's separated from his team. He's going back to B, which turns out to be the right decision. compLexity rotates there, and then sees the counter-terrorist rotating there, and then they choose to rotate back. So they're really playing a game of, I don't know, of chase and tag. And Rix, he's tagged Slimmy. Slimmy, you're it. Seb left in 1v2, but as I mentioned, the man's great at clutching, but he chooses to stand in the Molotov, and if there was just 1 player that he was fighting, good decision. Great idea. But unfortunately, there were 2, and he eats too much damage from the fire and from the 2 people shooting at him that it just wasn't a winnable situation. Now Peter, he's looking to probe out the A bomb site, and he does an exceptional job at it. Maybe he should give up offing and stick to the rifle, as he just gets 2 nasty headshots, followed by Slimmy chiming in of his own. Ghost Gaming reduced to shreds within seconds of this round opening up, and now Rick's last man standing, 1 versus 5. I think he's got it. Wow, he actually does manage to find 2, despite how sarcastic I was being. Those were a nice 2 frags. They kind of line up for him. He gets lucky. Now Ghost Gaming, though, they're on such an economic back foot, and I just don't support Rix's decision to buy right now. He buys below that 2K mark, and although he might be able to afford still a full buy or something close to it next round because of loss bonus, I still don't like throwing away money essentially unnecessarily, right? You have 2 CZs. Do you really think you're going to win this round? If not, save all your money. You're going to be able to afford more nades and better guns in the upcoming gun rounds, and that's really what you need to be worried about. Now, I get that Ghost Gaming, they're getting a little bit close to the end of the game to making decisions like that, to be okay with giving away rounds, but it's just the smart play. Now, Seb, he's essentially alone here right now. He's pushed up. There is another teammate in the site with him, but he's not going to be able to support him just yet. But it doesn't matter for Seb. The man's a legend. He finds a frag and grabs the AK. And that'll show up for the bomb site defense. And actually, he's on the flank and he manages to almost grab a kill, but Slummy, a little bit too quick for him. Slummy says, I'm the only one who gets P250 frags around this town. Takes him down. 3 versus 4. Peter eating a headshot, unfortunately. Now everyone just kind of posted up around the bomb. And, of course, no kits on the Ghost Gaming side. Not enough money for it, so our retake is pretty much out of the question at this point. And Def, he's just waiting for stragglers. I like the fact that compLexity have the thought process to leave someone there to wait for stragglers, because a ninja defuse here would just be annoying. Now as they exit the bomb site, Rix manages to find a kill. He's very good on that CZ, Rix is, but not good enough to 1v5, unfortunately, as we found out already this game. And this round opens up with just Wardell taking a little bit of damage. I'd imagine clipped through the corner of one of the trains. Luckily for him, he's going to stop the bullet, save his life. He jumps down and he manages to get a quick kill to open up the round. But of course, Peter has one as well in Connor. And Peter, I did mention that he's a very, inconsistent. He's either really on or he's really off. In this game, he's much closer to on than he is to off. I'm noticing he's hitting a lot of shots and he's fragging pretty well. And I have to imagine that's the reason compLexity has been able to come back in the fashion that they have been. They were never down by that much, but they were certainly down heading into this half. Now, Wardell, he's trying to prove me wrong. He's trying to prove that compLexity isn't about to run away with this map, and in doing so, he finds a quick kill, but I don't think it's going to be enough to seal out this round. Now, Def, he's chiming in with one of his own, but B on the flank will take out Peter, leaving Def all by himself. Now, Def, the rising UK star, one of the best UK players in the scene right now, the other on LDLC, and I casted him this morning. Let's see if he can represent his nationality here in an impressive way. Def, he knows there's going to be people around this corner, but the fact that there's 2 is the X factor that screws him over, and that's exactly what happens. He peeks and he finds the first frag. He's pre-aimed for it. He's primed and ready to go, but Rix is there to mop up in the end. And now we're heading into a pause. Both teams sorting out their thoughts right now. I'd like to remind everybody, I am Mazer. Thank you for joining me for tonight's match of ESL Pro League. It's been an honor to cast for you, been an honor to hopefully inform you a little bit about the thought processes here, and if I can't do that, at the very least, I hope I'm entertaining. And as freeze time finally concludes, compLexity, they look like they have a plan. I'm not sure what the plan is, but they seemed particularly determined and driven as they left terrorist spawn. Ghost Gaming, once again, going with a very A-focused setup. And I'd like to be critical of it, but I was about to say it's working. It's not working. It's not working at all. I can be critical of it. But something about their setup isn't right, and I don't think it's the fact that they have so much manpower on A, because B site hits, while they have been a part of compLexity's game plan, they're not the bread and butter of it. It's not like they're exploiting that bomb site every round. Just something really needs to change right now. Maybe it would be putting the firepower of Seb on the A bomb site and having somebody else hit B instead. I'm not sure what it is. Android, though, sounding off with the AWP. And he'll find a quick kill. And, of course, Death and Yaster both weakening Ghost defenses just a little bit, chipping at that wall just a little bit. And if you chip long enough, eventually they'll be weak enough, you can flood right on through. And it looks like that's where compLexity is at in their minds right now. Now, Def, he's going to molly behind him, a little unorthodox, but I like it. Yaster finds the frag on a Connor as well. And now it's just Seb, left alone in a clutch once again. But unfortunately, my man Seb, he ends up in a lot of these situations. Maybe it's through no fault of his own, but he's the B-bomb site anchor. And when a team like compLexity likes to hit the A-bomb site over and over and over again, Seb is going to be left in a lot of clutch situations, but he just hasn't been that successful. I'll have to look at the exact statistics at the end of the game, but there's not a lot of 1vX's that Seb is winning out on, and maybe that's a trait you want in your anchor. Maybe you put somebody there who you think is a little bit more confident in clutches, but that raises the question of who on compLexity is more confident, or who on Ghost Gaming, rather, is more confident in clutching, and I couldn't tell you who is, to be entirely honest. My first guess would be Seb, but that's back at the root of the problem, and I'm only making that guess because he does it a lot, but he's not even that particularly great at it. Now Peter with a through-the-wall headshot on the counter, that's the type of thing where you punch a hole in the wall right afterwards. We've all been there. And Slummy will grab B with a quick headshot as well. This is spelling disaster for Ghost Gaming. I said he peeks around the corner, but he knows with the CZ he's not going to win that fight, so he falls off. Def just decides to dump the quick Molotov. I'm not exactly sure what he was hoping to gain there, though. You almost hope he pushes in you, because at that range you're gonna chop him up. Now Wardell up close and personal with the scout. He manages to find a quick kill before Peter will take him out. And now Ricks, he's trying to spam through that middle. That's wall bangable. But of course he's surrounded and overwhelmed. compLexity taking map 1. Don't go anywhere. Map 2 is about to start in a minute. Very impressive performances from both teams. I like the way Ghost played in the first half. I like the way compLexity played in the second half. Say that 5 times fast. And I will see you for the second map in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
I got it right, you can't stop the might. You should've took flight, tell them when I bring it home. I'll take the top throne, king when I bring it, I keep them yelling out, yeah. Cause I can smell victory, 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 victory.
Sound muted.
Counter-terrorists win. And like I got like just a nutty like 4K with only with a deagle, and then I picked up an op or some crap. Yeah, it's pretty on train.
Send me
Yeah. Okay.
That's a clip for you. That's a clip for me too. It's a highlight for both of us.
Oh, wait, actually, I'm trying to remember if it was your co-caster or you though. That was
Game
like
record and
mostly
stream
saying
without
that.
compromise on Intel Core i7.
Like I think both of you talk in the clip, but yeah, I mostly. Sorry, but I mostly remember what I do in it. That's all.
I understand completely. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Can we still talk? Who?
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
I got it right, you can't stop the might. You should have took flight, tell them when I bring it home. I'll take the top throne, king when I bring it, I keep them yelling out, yeah. Cause I can smell victory, 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 victory.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mazer, and finally, joining me as a co-caster, Maui Snake. Very excited to bring you this final night's matches of EPL, but we are waiting on players to just change servers, so while we wait for that, please stay put, stay tuned. The second map, Cobblestone, will still happen as scheduled.
Yeah, the second match is still going to happen, but it looks like it's just taking a little while for the players to join the server here. Just a few players missing, so it should just be a little bit longer, and we'll be up and running shortly. Bringing you the cast tonight is going to be Mazer and myself, Maui Snake. And we got Kilroy actually producing this. Shouts out to him as well.
Nah, but we hate him.
I think he's a great fellow.
Alright. I forgot, okay? Shoot me. It was not that bad, I just said alright. Could have been way worse. I could be on the front page of Reddit fucking... Yeah, it was. It could be worse, dude. I'm telling you, I've literally had a
Game,
front page
record,
Reddit
and stream
thread where
without
people thought I was
compromise on
super
Intel
stacked and
Core
thought I was
i7.
actually shit-talking the client. I have it bookmarked, I'll send it to you.
When are they, or are they, or what?
He has a big YouTube channel. I used to cast Maui Snake before he was famous. Hashtag Team Diaz. What happened to that org? They just fell apart like all at once.
Well, it's because we left them. They, at the end of the season, they asked for some of our prize winnings, and we're just...
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
I got it right, you can't stop the might. You should have took flight, tell them when I bring it home. I'll take the top throne, king when I bring it, I keep them yelling out, yeah. Cause I can smell victory, 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 victory.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel. the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Terrorists win.
Sensor
Sound
feed, and then we're in.
resumed.
And it looks like I'm locked in for this game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final night of matches for ESL Pro League. I am Mazer. Joining me on the mic, finally, luckily enough, is Maui Snake. And tonight we're watching the second map of Ghost Gaming versus compLexity. compLexity sweeping fairly convincingly, although it got a little dicey towards the end, the first map on Train. Let's see how they can do on Cobble.
This would be already like a good start for Ghost Gaming, getting a pick from Connor on Def, and it looks like it's going to be a B hit here as B finds the headshot on Ye, and Rick's finding another on Peter as well. Looks like the first round, good odds of it going Ghost's way with just Slemmy, full utility player for compLexity at top drop right now, looking for his time to strike.
And he is fully filmed, which is great for an execute, but it's really not good for a clutch. And unfortunately, he will fall down. Seb taking him out, and Ghost Gaming up the pistol round. But of course, on Cobble, that's to be expected.
Yeah, CTs have quite a huge advantage on the CT side of this map, especially for pistols. There's a lot of angles that terrorists can approach from. A lot of them are flat. The most random area is definitely the drop area, but wasn't really abused by compLexity in that instance. And I just want to say thanks to Mazer and Kilroy for having me on your guys' stream. Thanks for picking me up for this one.
Yeah, we love you, man. We love to have you. Now, Connor, he's going to go into middle. He's going to grab the first headshot on a Def, but Demi with the... Slummy, excuse me, with the close-range panicked eagle shots, he'll take down B, keeping things even, keeping Ghost Gaming honest, but, of course, Slummy very, very lit. And as I mentioned a lot in the previous map, when you're low HP, it matters a lot more when you're fighting SMGs than it does when you're fighting rifles, and so Slummy probably going to be hurting a lot from that.
Yeah, Slummy's basically one shot from any gun right now, almost any weapon, and yep, taken down right there by Seb. Android with a nice shot on Wardell, but trade across the other side of the map from Ricks on Peter. 3v2 situation in the favor of Ghost. Looks like they have a pretty commanding lead of this round, especially with Seb's positioning, getting a nice kill on Ye and nice taps on Android. 2-0 for Ghost Gaming.
Solid start, and compLexity still reeling, not really enough money to put together a full buy, and so it looks like they're forcing, which is an odd decision. I can't say as I agree with it. They were in a good spot to save this round and then come back with a full buy next. I'm really not sure why they decided to jump into it here. Yeah,
kind of a surprise buy here. If they have a set strategy that can close these kind of rounds out, that they have practiced and are very confident with, I can see it working. Maybe they know that Ghosts are going to be a little eco-hungry here. Already we're finding Seb moving through drop, about to push it. He might get caught out by Android in just a second. They're so close together, but they are not finding each other just yet. Inches apart from each other, actually.
I love when situations like that happen. Two ships passing in the night, and it just adds that added confusion of both players reporting their team, hey, this area's clear. You don't have to worry about it. I'm here. I'm watching this angle. And it just kind of lets the thief into the camp, essentially. And it looks like compLexity, they're shaping up for a bit of a B-bomb site. Hit Sev, he worked up really close and dropped though, and obviously that position is going to be paying off for him. He'll take down Android very early on in the round, and Android, one of the key components to compLexity's success. He's a lot of firepower. Losing him this early is definitely not a good thing. When he's the first man down, it's tough for compLexity to recover from that. We saw that a lot on Train.
But Ye is able actually to pick up a kill on Seb. As Seb is just fiddling through his grenades. Ye, finding the opportunity there, is able to take him down. And now the A hit has come in as Slemmy's going to get a headshot on Connor here. Going to start moving up this wood wall side. And Def's going to be spotting out B. B kind of out of position at this point, is actually going to get taken down. And now compLexity have quite a control of the A bomb site. But the bomb is actually down in the water position, guarded by Ricks, who only has 28 HP and a P90. Let's see if he's able to actually hold this position. And actually Slemmy, hero of this round, it seems like. He's finding a kill on him as well, and now it's up to Wardell with just an M4 and no utility whatsoever. And Def's going to be able to take him out from the side. Good positioning from Def, a nice little flank there. I think he was aware of Wardell's positioning. And compLexity, I don't think we were fans of that buy, but actually they were able to pull through on that one. Just some nice defaulting, and Slemmy finding some crucial kills with that deagle.
It is one of those situations, though, where I almost think even though it worked, it wasn't necessarily the correct decision, but obviously it worked for compLexity. It was the gamble, and it paid off. So good on them. It's just, we said, you know, this is probably only a good idea if they have a preset strategy, and it was pretty clear they didn't. They played it by ear, and they still somehow managed to run away with the win, so more power to him for it. Now we're going to see Wardell. He posts up on the bomb site on stairs with the scout. He almost managed to tag someone. Unfortunately, that damage not quite going down, and this is just a testament to, I really don't like the scout. I think it's an overrated weapon unless you're in a coordinated duo designed to damage people with scout and kill people with upgraded pistols.
Could have his uses on certain parts of certain maps. I don't know, during there, you're just taking a pretty flat-out aim duel towards the stairs, towards B-plat, and you can get maybe 70 damage off, but they can just easily run away from you. But we're going to find some action towards drop here, as Ye's going to fly down onto Seb, and he's actually going to get... Oh, 1D by Connor towards Plat, and Connor is traded out by Peter, and now it's down to B and Wardell. Original B's Money Crew members here are going to find Android in drop, but Peter and Android are going to find the headshots on those Money Crew members.
It's unfortunate because you would love to tell the story of the B's Money Crew duo managing this crazy 2 versus 5, but
Yeah.
very unceremoniously disposed of by compLexity, who have now gone even 2-2 and forced Ghost onto the eco.
Yeah, Ghost's not looking too hot into this round. Everyone buying to around 1,400, 1,500. Pretty good money management. Some people would underbuy on this round, thinking that they need 2,000, but actually, they know how to manage their economy. So, doing a good job here. And let's see if they can get anything with this pistol.
Economy management.
They're just taking classes. They do. They absolutely do. But B actually going to be baiting out his teammate in drop. Seb taking some damage, but B's actually able to swing out and get the kill on Android, making it a 4-on-5 in favor of Ghost. And when I say in favor, it's barely in favor, as Slammy's able to get the trade on B there. He's getting a little too greedy for that gun up there. And now Wardell maybe will suffer the same fate in drop. Actually, he's going to back up. Going to get a little wiser there, learn from B's mistakes. And compLexity just going to be holding out for a bit, letting the Ghost Gaming defense spread out, thin their numbers, know that the A bomb site could be taken. The Ghost members are starting to fill the routes towards there, as 2 of the members are on the A side. But now it's going to be a B split here, as Seb's able to get Ye. Slemmy gets the trade in return, and now Rick's in a nice one-and-done spot, but Peter wiser to it, as he's going to take him out. Slemmy finding another headshot on Wardell, and Slemmy, maybe the best anti-eco fragger on this compLexity team in this round. Just something you'd see from an IGL usually, but he's picking them all up, and Connor is able to pick up the FAMAS. I'm assuming he's just going to be saving it into the upcoming round. Maybe he's going to go for some damage. I guess we'll find out shortly.
I always like, especially when you have the FAMAS, which it's a great gun. Oh, wow. Wow, that was a nasty shot. But to get back to my point, it's not really the ideal gun for a full buy round, right? So if you have something like that, I feel like the benefits of waiting for exit frags outweigh the risks of losing that weapon, because it's just not as strong of a contribution to your team as, say, an M4 and AK would be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think just saving guns in general can be used for certain spots. Just like, depending on a setup, there might be a guy that's in a more close range position where the FAMAS can be similarly effective to an M4. But I understand what you're saying there, and I actually totally agree with it. FAMAS, not the consolation prize you're looking for in that kind of round, but at least they did some damage to their economy.
I mentioned this the last game too. Saving weapons, a lot of people just kind of instinctually always save the weapon if they're the first player left, but you have to kind of weigh in your head when you're a player, what's my team's buy looking like next round? Do we need this gun? Do we not need this gun? Is my exit frags more useful than me saving this gun? A lot of little minutia decisions like that have to go into your decision whether or not to save the gun. It can't just be a snap thing because you're the only player left.
Yeah, enough damage into a round can actually spurn some teams to actually force in positions where they otherwise wouldn't, and change some strategies around. Yay, finding a nice kill on B, though, to open up the B bomb site. Connor, though, getting the trade into return. 4v4. And it looks like we're going to find another engagement here. Seb is going to fight Android towards drop, while the rest of compLexity is making their way back to the A bomb site, only defended by Wardell, the star B's Money Crew operator, now Ghost Gaming professional.
I do love watching Wardell's ops, but unfortunately, as we're hyping him up, Death unceremoniously takes him down. And now compLexity have a pretty big advantage going to this round, especially if you look at utility. Now, neither team has a large amount, but compLexity has it in spades compared to Ghost Gaming. And unfortunately, the utility is not going to matter for Seb or Android. A lot of fire exchange there. Seb losing a lot of health and Android falling over. And the Molotov going to force Rix out of position and allow compLexity to, at the very least, get the bomb down. Let's see how Ghost Gaming plays this post plant. They don't have any defuse kits, so time is truly a factor here. They have to be careful.
Looks like they're just going to be going for the save as they retreat towards the B platform. Can't really blame them here for this, having 2 rifles. And oh, they actually just picked up a kit, but that was too far for any real attempt to be made on the bomb site. And they're just going to be saving in T-spawn. Maybe they can get some more exit kills, but it seems pretty unlikely given their positions and the terrorist positions. So what do you think of this save? Think it's worthwhile?
The rest of this game is just going to be us micro-analyzing their saves and nothing else, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just going to be economy management 101 with your hosts, Mazer and Maui Snake.
So, the counter-terrorist side has quite a bit of money, especially because of loss bonus, so I would say that was a great time to save weapons. Of course, that has an added benefit because it's an AK and an M4. It's not anything subpar. These are weapons you'd be buying anyway. So essentially 2 players get to skip buying a rifle if this team decides to full buy right here. Although it looks like instead they're going to go for a little bit of a half buy, a little bit of a, you know, Bach would call this a kitchen sink buy. And that has its benefits too. Essentially your team isn't spending any money going into this round, but they still have a great shot to win because of those 2 rifles. So let's see how Ghost plays it.
Yeah, they're going to put Seb in the drop area with this AK. That's a great position to find AK headshots, given that the terrorists are going to be buying that head armor. They're not going to expect just getting instantly one-tapped by the AK. It's a great duel to take with the AK. I'm a big fan of it. And actually, Wardell's going to be finding an engagement with Def. Unlucky for him, he does not have one of the rifles into this round, as he may have been able to find a kill, but actually going to be able to escape with his life and 10 HP.
With 10 HP, though, you have to wonder how much impact he can have. And at that point, especially with the Deagle, Wardell's probably going to be putting himself in either one-and-done spots or flank positions because he wants to be able to get the drop on somebody and really line up that headshot. Because essentially, as soon as he's detected, his life is already forfeit. Yeah,
as soon as anyone even breathes on him with any of their weapons, he is out of the round.
A strong breeze in his direction would send him to spectator heaven.
Ah, it's a good place for fallen CTs.
Send him up to the farm with all my other favorite Counter-Strike players.
He's actually going to be finding all of them right here and unlikely to find anything, and he doesn't. Wardell taken down, and that's going to leave compLexity the entire A bomb site for free. Actually, Seb's going to be jumping out a window immediately and gets a kill on Def, and if he's able to find some more here, this really could be a good defense, but taken down by Ye. Fearless peeks coming out from Ye. And Android's going to get the kill on Connor, and that's probably going to secure the round for compLexity getting the...
This is a god, he got it.
If Rix had a little more HP and a little more utility and a little bit better positioning and a few less terrorists to worry about, he might have gone for this one, but he's going to find the kill on Peter, and that's actually a pretty massive kill, getting the op in the hands of Wardell, assumingly, into the upcoming round. If he's able to get another kill here... Oh, he's actually choosing to go back to B, and this might spell his doom, as Slemmy is right here ready for him.
No. I like when you started enumerating the reasons that Rix wasn't going for it, because it boils down to, essentially, if this was a different game and Rix was a different player on a different team, he probably would have gone for it, but since he's not...
Yeah, there were quite a few reasons why he should not have gone for that, and a little too bad that he wasn't able to save that off, but however, Ghosts are able to afford 2 here as Wardell still yet to find a kill on the board here, 0 and 6. He's going to be looking for his first pick here towards the long A area, but he's going to get mollied out immediately. compLexity are not going to allow Ghosts any easy entries into this round.
Oh, Ghost. Wow, setting up a brick wall in the form of their 2 oppers being Wardell, and already finding a lot of success with it. They get the first pick in the round, and it's on the depth, the highest rated player. Taking out a key piece of firepower like that this early on is definitely a really important thing that you can do to try to bolster your chances of success.
Yeah, and Rix is able to find a kill on Slemmy, and now it's just down to Peter, and this looks pretty difficult to manage. He's able to spot Seb in the drop position, so he is aware of where 1 of 4 CTs are. If he's able to turn this into something, it'd be quite incredible, but it looks like the other member on the bomb site B clearly aware of his position. Wardell is going to just peek him complete confidence from drop. Just doesn't even believe that Peter is going to be holding him. And that's going to be a 2K for Wardell and a 3rd round for Ghost.
So tell me what you think about this, Maui Snake. You've been around the block maybe a little bit more than I have. I feel like Peter is a very inconsistent player with very, very high highs and very low lows. And essentially, if he's firing on all cylinders and hitting his shots, it's almost impossible for compLexity to lose. But the moment he falls off a little bit, things get far more dicier.
I wouldn't disagree with that entirely. I think that there is some firepower on compLexity that could be credited here. Ye, for example, is a massive player for the compLexity squad. I remember playing against him in ESEA main multiple times, and how he would just completely dominate games. Admittedly, that is at a lower level, but still, he does bring that firepower and confidence into a lot of pro games, especially when he thinks his team isn't getting anything done. You'll see Ye get a little more desperate, and that's sometimes when you see him play better than ever. And Ye's actually going to get the first opening pick into this round towards B, and that's going to help them open up the site there. But great defense from Connor and Wardell are going to bring it back. Now it's 4v2 with Slemmy and Android. Android, another one of the players, I would say, is a great... Okay, well, he's taken out immediately as soon as I say that. But he's a great player for compLexity for sure, but unable to accomplish anything into this round. And now it's just down to a Slemmy in a 1v2. What do you think Slemmy's chances are?
He is the mastermind of compLexity. He's the IGL. And a lot of people like to say that IGLs, they have a better chance in clutch situations because they think about the game on a deeper level, and I can even agree to that. And additionally, if you've ever tried any level of IGLing, be it open all the way through pro, you know that it just adds this extra layer of stress on your gameplay all the time. And that's the type of environment you're going to be in when you're in a clutch situation. So Slemmy's pretty prepared for it, but as I say that, he gets flipped on the wall and takes a lot of damage as a result. Now, he does still find the kill on a Rix, but he's very lit, and I imagine that call will be transmitted to his teammate. And also, he's really close to running out of time here. The time going to force his hand. He has to stick to plant, and that's going to allow Wardell to just get right up into him. And Slemmy able to get the bomb down, but not much else. Unfortunately, caught dead to rights, and ooh, the end. And then Wardell goes for the defuse. He didn't have to do him like that. He didn't have to kill him like that.
You gotta be like that, Wardell. Come on, man.
Come on, Wardell. Why did it be like that?
Slemmy, though, I think just a little bit of overthinking there. He actually had a great chance into that round, but just faking the defuse 3 times, probably 1 time too many. He almost caught Wardell there at the broken wall, but Wardell just waiting for that final 4 seconds before he decides to peek. Definitely was the wisest decision in that situation.
And that makes me a little disappointed that Slemmy faked the bomb twice, because it's the second fake that got him to the point where he needed to then commit to the bomb on the 3rd attempt. You know what I mean? If he planted the second time, you could have faked Wardell into thinking that it was a fake, and then he would have waited for the plant, and you would have had a lot more options in terms of where you position yourself. Instead, he waits until the very end, and Wardell knows exactly where he's going to be, and it's the easiest kill of his life.
Some opening action coming out towards this B-bomb site once again, and it's going to be frags, 2 for Ghost, 1 for compLexity. Going to be thinning the numbers of this terrorist team, and B is just going to be fearless with this mag 7 towards drop, able to take Def's head off quite cleanly, but Ye is able to find him in return. Now Wardell is going to be this defense trying to stop this A connector push, and he's actually able to get Ye and Slemmy there. Nasty. Just great stuff coming out of Wardell. It looks like he's really stepping it up. I think he has 3 2Ks in a row now. This guy is starting to catch fire, and he's giving Ghost a real shot to give themselves a good half here in their final game of Pro League. And this is actually the final game Ghost Gaming is going to be playing in Pro League for at least the next season, unless Ghost Academy is somehow able to get it from Premier, get into Pro League. But yeah, this team is already guaranteed relegation into Premier, or not even relegation. They are guaranteed to be Premier, and Rix, though, putting up a nice stand into this round.
Rix will not go quietly into the Premier darkness.
Great way to put it. And Wardell's going to be fighting Peter, and actually Peter gets the best of him with his P250. And maybe we're going to see Peter catch a little fire here in this round as, oh, Connor's actually able to get the kill there. He had a nice lineup with good crosshair placement, but unable to find the frag. And 2-on-2 situation. This is, I think, better than compLexity could have hoped for going into this round with a very modest buy. Just a lot of pistols, not even armor on most of their players. And now they're grouped up, and the Ghost Gaming players are split up. So this is definitely a chance for them to reset that Ghost economy. Ghost have some decent money on some of their players, but a few of them are going to need... actually, a few of them are not going to be able to buy at all. So this is actually a pretty important round for both teams.
In situations like this, I feel like a very underused strategy is have counter-terrorists just wait essentially in the exits of a bomb site, and then when they see people, run, and then retake together. And so obviously that's not what Ghost Gaming is doing right now. That's almost never what any team does. Instead, Connor electing to take the fight, and that's proving to be the right decision. He manages to take down Slummy, who was, of course, on the Mag 7, leaving Death alone opping and allowing Seb to rotate in. And just the fact that Seb is rotating in essentially seals Dev's fate, but of course, Connor peeking out, and I'd imagine the fire kind of obfuscated his view, and unfortunately he wasn't able to get the shot off, and that's going to be Ghost Gaming pulling ahead by just one more round.
Yeah, really good damage, though, for compLexity there. I think they got way more than they expected out of that round. And now if they actually win this round, they are still able to hurt Ghost's economy a lot. Having only a couple alive in the previous rounds, Ghost isn't really stacking the cash, as you may think, despite the 4 rounds in a row victories. But we're going to be seeing a B hit coming out here, and Wardell is posted in the perfect position to be stopping this rush, and he's going to find 3 kills from this statue position. A really impressive round for him. He is really lighting things up over here on basically wherever he goes to. He's not even just playing A or B. He's going wherever he feels like, and no matter where he's gone, he's a monster.
You know it's like a really bad hold when immediately after the rounds ends, just a pause. Just
guys, we got to think about it.
Guys. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, let me think about it.
We've all been there, right? In the server, and just somebody just styles on you, and you're so embarrassed that it's either pause the game or hang your head in shame and just don't play anymore. And compLexity instead opting to pause the game, but they are going into an eco right now. And to be honest, a little pet peeve of mine, it probably doesn't make a huge difference in the long run. I don't like teams using pauses going in eco rounds. I feel like eco rounds are supposed to be throwaways, and you should spend pauses on real gun rounds that are going to matter in the long run.
I agree entirely. I think pauses can shift momentum drastically in games, and when you just lose a round, which is likely to happen for compLexity given their bye, it really doesn't feel like your pause did all that much. And then you go into the next gun round with your head still hung low, and there's, I don't know, you sometimes won't even remember what you said because you just lost again and you're just depressed about that loss. You hit it spot on, though.
And this is something that I like to talk about because I feel like it often goes underreported. The morality of teams can really contribute to how well they do, which is one of the reasons I'm surprised Ghost Gaming is putting up this good of a fight, considering we all know they're going to Premier next season. Yeah, they're still giving it their all, it looks like. Exactly. Very impressive.
There's some reasons for players to still try. Individual performances are still graded throughout the season for just teams looking to recruit players. And actually, oh yay, with a nice headshot. But yeah, some of these players that are on Ghost might be looking for a different professional team to hop ship to, and if they have a good rating for the season, sometimes the scouting is actually not all that comprehensive for pro teams, and they'll just pick a player up based off of a rating and maybe a name. So I can see some of these players just kind of playing for stats a little bit, but
funnily enough,
they're going
exactly
for
what happened to Stewie, and that's what we were talking about in the pregame, and that was like the textbook example of a gamble like that just working out in an amazing way. Like, no, Stewie should not have been that good. Like, Cloud9 got lucky. I think we can all agree on that, that no signs indicated him being as good as he is on Cloud9.
Yeah, I don't know how they had a good feeling about Stewie, but, I mean, they were able to really nail him as being such an up-and-comer.
Who knows, maybe somebody on Ghost Gaming right now will be the next Stewie.
Perhaps. I think Rix has solidified his name in the professional scene. Wardell has been touted as one of the top 5 or so offers in North America. Yeah. I think Shazam said that.
And he's risen amazingly quickly, too. Like, how many seasons ago was it that Wardell was in Mate?
It was 3, I think, or 2.
Yeah, that's really brief.
Yeah, he really had an incredible rise to stardom, and he became kind of a household name for North American players. Kind of has a cult following among North American offers, and yeah, he's proven himself in this game for sure. Just hitting some nice shots over and over again. Real consistent after those a few bad rounds to start, but he really brought himself up.
Connor falling real early in the round. And one of the things about like a weapon pick like the Mag 7, first of all, it really might not work if somebody like Android peeks you around the corner and gets an amazing headshot off, but it removes your diversity, and that's essentially meaning if they don't go drop, it's very hard for you to find use in the round.
Most definitely. It's going to be pretty hard for Ghost to accomplish anything in this round. I'm surprised Seb is actually still alive in this position, but he's going to be taken out shortly. And now it's just Wardell, probably going to be saving the op into the upcoming round. And maybe we'll see some heroics from him going into the very last round of the half. You think he's got this round?
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
I don't know why. I just like the underdog story, so every time I see someone about to get in the clutch, I hype them up a lot, and they never meet my expectation.
You know, if you just do it every time, eventually you gotta be right.
Just throw stuff at the wall till it sticks.
Oh, that was a great flash. That was some great teamwork. And Def's gonna get the final kill on Wardell, and that is gonna definitely dampen the Ghost Gaming mood into this last round, as Wardell, without the op, I'm pretty sure every single one of his kills has been with an op, and despite him having an A1S, pretty good rifle. It's not usually the gun you're gonna see Wardell go off with, and that, a FAMAS, some pistols. compLexity looks positioned to get this 8th round, or this 8th victory, in the final round of the half. So we're going to be seeing both teams go all out, as this is the last round of the half.
As we both know, though, these teams don't make any sense. compLexity really should be winning, so Wardell is going to peek up and get that aggressive kill. Of course, Peter keeps things even, but I wouldn't call anything a lock right now. Ye, on the other hand, though, he wants me to call it for his team nice and early as he comes around and he finds Seb as well, and that pretty much sets the bomb site to compLexity as they pour in. A rotation coming in from those counter-terrorist players, but it might be too little too late, especially as Rix, he tries to stop the bleeding in that B bomb site and rushes in by himself, but unfortunately that just means he's an easy target.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty difficult retake. Wardell with that single A1S actually was able to find a kill with it. Did better than I expected with it, but Peter's going to be finding him with the op, and now B completely flashed with nothing but a CZ. Let's see if he can get some damage in. Unable to find the kill, as Ye getting a nice 3K to close the half out. 8-7 for compLexity, and if they are able to win this game, well, it seals the fate for Ghost. It's already been sealed, but compLexity actually have some money on the line here. If they are able to win this game with a good round differential, and I think Renegades lose their game, I think compLexity will win a couple thousand more dollars. So they actually have something to win here. I would see. It's nothing really to just. This game, even though it seems like it's two bottom feeder teams for the Pro League, there's actually quite a bit at stake for the compLexity guys. I would definitely like another $500 in my bank account. I know that.
And you actually made an excellent point that I'd never really considered before as far as the Ghost Gaming players on an individual basis. Of course they still want to perform well. This is, since they're going back to Premier, this is probably the last time most of them are going to see any time at all on the world stage. They need to make a great name for themselves and hopefully prospect themselves to other teams. And honestly, a team like Ghost, if the consequence of you getting to Pro League is 2 of your players end up joining better Pro League teams, that's a pretty good run.
It's a good investment.
Exactly. And I honestly, maybe it's a little less true as time has gone on, and the GMC crew was a little diluted, but I'm sure there's still going to be some truth ringing in my words. You got to imagine that's a close group of friends, and you got to imagine they all want each other to succeed just as badly as they want themselves to succeed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, given the likelihood that many of them are going to be playing Premier into the upcoming season, I'd be a huge fan of seeing B, Wardell, Neptune all reunite to form the old B's Money crew. Neptune's been chilling on Ghost Gaming's Academy team, and that team is already... That team's at least going to be in Premier next season. They're, I think they have 10 wins right now. They might be 10-6, actually. And they're going to make the Premier playoffs. So there's actually a small possibility that the Ghost Academy team will make Pro League in the upcoming season, although unlikely. Perhaps we see some kind of reunited team where Neptune's on it. Perhaps they will remove some of the players, although Odorous has been playing amazingly for that team. A couple of just amazing players on that Academy team, but a few may be removed, and we might see Wardell and B join their ranks, and maybe a Ghost Gaming Reborn team? I don't know.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like the first North American team to win a major.
You know what? I can't disagree with you, Mazer.
This match for me, I don't know why, this is the match of overhype. That's where I'm at right now.
This is probably the most important game I have ever casted. And,
in all honesty, I truly believe that this match is going to decide the winner of EPL this season.
You know what?
Despite the fact that neither team is eligible for finals right now.
I can't agree with you less. Well, looks like it's halftime. Is the scoreboard still relevant? Nope, it's not. Well,
I hate that. But anyway, we're going to kick it to music real quick while we wait for these teams to situate themselves, get ready for the second half. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Maui Snake trying to bring you the most entertaining and informative stream that we possibly can for this final night of ESL Pro League matches. Thanks for watching. Hey guys.
And if you're just joining us, this is the final day of ESL Pro League season. What season? Well, it's the final day of this ESL Pro League season. And you are joined by your casters, Maui Snake, which is myself, and Mazer. You can find us at Twitter at MazerCSGO and Maui Snake. That's spelled MAUISNAKE. Be sure to show us some love when you can. Oh, Mazer CS.
Yep, that's everyone notable. But now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into this pistol round. It's the counter-terrorists. They've stacked up in a way that allows very, very quick rotations, which, as I previously mentioned, I'm a fan of. And so right now, they're going to begin their assault. In Crossfire is just a little bit too much for them. Depth managed to take one down, but I said it was too much, and I was absolutely wrong. Connor finds two, and Rix and B both chiming in with one of their own. And now it's Slemmy in a 1 versus 4, and I think he's got it. He finds one kill. He's looking for the second, but he falls flat on his face immediately afterwards. Ghost Gaming going to be running away with the pistol round. They've tied it up now. Let's see if they can galvanize this, make it into a real comeback.
Yeah, I think, well, it wouldn't be the craziest comeback, but in respect to both these team standings, you know what? Let's just say it is.
The 1-round deficit comeback.
The 8-7 to 8-8 comeback is now in the works. This is now in the running. If you are betting live, I am sure the odds were actually in complexity's favor at halftime, and now maybe those Ghost Gaming halftime bets may have been paying off, and Seb's going to be finding some nice entry anti-ecos, a couple nice headshots from the stairs position, and Connor's going to be cleaning them up as well, pushing sidewalk. Rick's able to find the final kill, and they are just hunting those HLTV 2.0 statistics, and that's going to be 9-8 in favor of Ghost, and it's going to be another anti-eco. Let's see who the hungriest player is for Ghost. B with the MAC-10. I am sure he's going to be trying to rack up some eco frags, given that he only has 6 kills in this game so far. B, you gotta do it to him, my man.
You know we had to do it to him. So I actually, on Terra side, I love on anti-ecos grabbing MAC-10s and AKs, because you essentially just have the 2 MAC-10 players run around like they're on cocaine and jump and jump and jump and jump and be impossible to hit, which is exactly what Seb is doing right now. And while they're really difficult to hit and seeming like a big problem, AKs can actually kill people.
And just look how hungry they are right now. They are pushing into the A bomb site. They haven't even planted the bomb yet, and they are actually waiting to plant the bomb so that they can get all these eco frags. And now B, he's hungry. He's looking. Does he know Ye's position? He's about to find him, and he jumps over his head, and he's actually able to find the headshot on Ye. And that is B getting his 7th kill in this game, picking up some important economy as well. Let that not go under the radar that every kill with the MAC-10 is $600 in the bank. Along with that round win, that's $3,850. for B in that round. Pretty impressive round.
Snake. He knows the numbers and he can do them right in his head. That's why we pay him the big bucks. But now as we head into this next round, we can see Ghost Gaming. It looks like they have a pretty firm idea of how they want to play this, but that involves the bomb and most of their players heading towards that B bomb site. And so now I'm wondering, what are the 2 players working along? What is their goal?
They're going to be moving, trying to get some control. B is going to go about as he's just kind of standing right on his heels is his teammate. And if they're able to trade out some nice kills here, they can definitely get some. But it looks like the other side of the map is where the real action is, as Seb is able to get the kill on Android. Connor's going to get taken down from Ye. Rick's now in a weird connector position, and he's going to be trying to move to that A site. Actually, flicks around to get Ye. And now Slemmy, the lone defender of the A bomb site, is gonna get spotted. And now Peter with nothing but an op and 4 HP.
Oh, he's got it.
That's 1 HP for each of the terrorists. I think he has a great opportunity here. If they only do 1 damage to him each, and he's able to get the last guy without taking any damage at all, he has a great chance to win this round. But in other news, it looks like he's going to be just going to the restrooms over here, the porta potties right to his side, and he's going to even take a little glance at the porta potties as well, seeing if he can find any
He's thinking about it.
stragglers.
Do I climb in?
Yeah, is he? He's thinking. He's definitely thinking about it. Do I have to go? Do I not?
But right now, he's just trying to save the offer for the next round, and who could blame him? The Dragon Lore is an expensive one, but of course, while he's worried about the 2 players kind of loudly approaching him from the B-bomb side, he gets flanked by one a little bit quieter. So smart play from Ghost Gaming and just kind of pincering him like that. And Peter is going to lose the op, which can be a very impactful force, but unfortunately in this game, he's not really putting up the numbers that you'd want from an Opper, which is a little rough. And actually, now that I look at it, everyone on compLexity is kind of fragging right in the middle of each other. No one's really pulling away, and actually the top fragger is Slummy. And just, not to insult Slummy, but that's not really the leaderboard that we should be looking at. If compLexity is going to be successful, Android has to be fragging very well, Ye has to be fragging very well, and hopefully Peter's putting up numbers as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're going to just have to definitely get some kills to get back into this game. Without a doubt, setups have seemed a little questionable so far on this CT side. Not able to get trades efficiently in a lot of the spots that you'd hope. And Peter, the last member of compLexity, is going to get taken down by Connor. And it looks like they're going to be in a full buy. A nice pause coming out from compLexity. These are the pauses we were talking about earlier. Pausing before a gun round. This is where you can shift the momentum of the game and hopefully just bring yourself back into it, 1 round at a time.
Yeah, this is the perfect use of the pause, like we'd previously mentioned. And the reason it's so... given themselves every possible advantage that they could have right now. They have guns, they have as much time as they need to think up a strat.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they actually decide to just stack a bomb site a little more. Their normal defenses have not been all that effective, given how close Ghost has been on each other. And it looks like they're going to be just playing a pretty standard setup here, but Peter and Slemmy are going to be on top of each other towards the long area, and Ghost is actually just going to make their way right up the A slope, and actually going to be taking control of this bomb site for free, actually. And as soon as we say that, Wardell and Peter finding kills with both of their offs, Peter putting a great hold in place from this long A position. He's actually able to get a third. Peter is actually going off in this round, doing exactly what we needed him to for this to be a competitive game where he's going to get 3 kills from positions. He's actually going to be looking for more while the rest of his team is going to be pushing out. Looks like Ye's going to be finding contact towards APC. He's actually going to get his head taken off by B, though. 2 on 3. Ghost are trying to hold this bomb plant down, but Peter with another nice wall bang is going to close the round out for compLexity. Great stuff from him that round. 4K.
Real kill of 4K, and then he hops on the bomb for the defuse, too. You just know he's screaming in TeamSpeak, guys, don't you dare, I got the 4K, I need the ELO. All jokes aside, though, that does pull out the round, and like we mentioned, that pause exactly what the doctor ordered for compLexity. That's their first round in quite some time on the counter-terrorist side. However, not enough to break the eco. Ghost Gaming has won round after round after round, and so compLexity is right up against the full buy again. Do you think they have what it takes to pull it off twice in a row?
They're gonna have to do it 3 times in a row, actually. If they get this one, it'd be great, but Ghost Gaming have money in the bank, as the lowest in their team, Connor, with 3.5k, is still gonna be able to buy into the upcoming round. Everyone with more money than him on top of that. So, 3-peat is what's actually necessary here, and that is a tall order, given how good Ghosts have been on these terrorist rounds. Prior to that one, of course.
And Wardell, he actually gets the pick, and the flash inadvertently forces him to fall off, which I think is actually much better for him. A lot of players, they can get a little bit too aggressive there and immediately try to repeak, although as I'm saying this, Wardell proving me wrong, repeaking over and over again, and every single frag. Man, you're too good. It's impossible to cast for you. But Rick's going to grab the headshot on Android through the post. And then, interesting smoke right there that he's going to throw through the window, and I'm not really sure if it landed where he wanted it to, but close enough.
That was some really impressive stuff from Wardell. Wardell knows that the professional eyes are on him. He knows that this is his last, as you said, game on the big stage, the last game of potentially his Pro League career, and he is not going to let himself go out quietly. Finding just entry, like that was a triple entry onto the B bomb site. That is not
And it was
a
AWPing.
strategy.
Like you're not supposed to entry with the AWP.
No, you're not.
It's not how it works.
Just putting on a masterclass performance and just showing complexity that he's better in a lot of ways. Maybe not for the season as a team, individually in that round. He definitely made a statement.
Gets picked up by a pro team, as we were talking about earlier, I'd be shocked if it was anyone but Wardell. I think the only other people or person really on the team that is putting up numbers similar to him rather consistently, and that would be Rix. He's kind of already had that shot on a pro team before, and I don't want to say he blew it, but he didn't perform as expected. So I doubt most teams would kind of take that risk. However, Wardell, he's young, fresh, upcoming talent. I believe this is his first season in Pro League. If it's not his first, it's certainly one of very few. Surround that man with the right talent. He could be the next Kusta, except for real this time.
Ooh, shots. Okay. Well,
honestly, like, completely unrelated, but I don't think Kusta's underwhelming performance had anything to do with him. I think his system in enemy was very specific and very routinized in a way that allowed him to shine, and Liquid did not have that. But that aside, because it's not a good job.
Be a full-out rush as they know that complexity are on an eco round, and they are going to be hunting the track once again. We're going to see B at the forefront taking down Android. Rix, though, going to be hunting even harder as he's going to get 2, and now Rix with a 3K, oh, a 4K actually, and going to be picking up some nice economy there. No one from complexity, I think, even dying there. Oh no, actually there was one death the way of Ghost. My bad. Sorry, Ghost. And
it can get confusing.
Otherwise, a great round for them.
Yeah, nearly flawless. And in complexity, they looked like they were going to be able to tear back into it, but unfortunately, that momentum after their one round win, they just weren't able to carry it forward. And Ghost, they're right back into it, right back into really streaky wins. And you can see the buy on complexity is just not strong. The 2 from Austin, it seems minute, but every little thing counts. Every extra point of damage counts. And right now, Death proving that he manages to somehow mow down 2 people with the M4. Very impressive. And that's sends Ghost Gaming reeling. Losing 2 people this early on in the round is almost a crushing blow. It's going to be very difficult for them to come back.
Yeah, without a doubt, a 5v3 disadvantage is pretty tough to handle on Cobble especially, and just sending all their players into drop is an interesting strategy. If Wardell's able to find some more magic here, he actually finds the kill completely blind, but it's traded out by Depth. Now it's at 2-on-3, a little more manageable for the Ghost side, but it looks like complexity is going to be swarming their position as they are on every side of drop right now, and it's pretty much up to Rix to try to find something here, as complexity knows that B is stuck in that drop position, and I think Rix is spotting Ye's gun here, and if he can take his head off, able to win the duel. Actually, now it's down to a 2-on-2, and now B can probably escape from this drop position shortly.
All of a sudden, this is winnable. Really didn't appear to be. Now, Peter, he's worked up. He's trying to hold this drop angle, and luckily for him, B is still flashed when that smoke fades. And unfortunately, right after we call it winnable, Peter and Slummy really find their footing and mop up the last 2. Complexity, again, they managed to take a one-off round, but unfortunately, winning rounds at this rate just isn't enough. It's like one of those old 4th grade math problems. If the water's flowing into the tank at this rate and flowing out at this rate, will the tank empty? And right now, unfortunately for complexity, their tank is running out, despite what little they managed to bail into it over the side.
Really good simile there that you used.
Yeah, what a metaphor that what a comparison that was.
Yeah,
but anyway.
That was really nice. The water looks to be quite overflowing, as Ghost still with quite a bit of economy going into this round, and it's just gonna be, it is gonna be a grind. It is a grind. They're low again, so complexity dealing some nice early damage onto Ghost in the beginning of this one. Death has been finding a lot of damage just spamming through that flat smoke, and Ghost kind of making their way towards this drop position again. They're really starting to favor this, even though this isn't really where their earlier gun round wins have come from. Are still interested in prodding this area out. And Wardell's going to find the first pick of the round on Death, and that's going to find an opening onto the B bomb side. Just held by Ye towards Broken Wall now. Seb's able to find Slemmy, and it's up to Ye to really hold his Android. Actually rotated quite quickly into a good position. Now it's actually a nice crossfire on Android and getting some really great kills, but Ye getting a little too hasty there. Now down to an offload between Peter and Wardell. Wardell actually pulling out the CZ in time, is able to take down Peter. Now it's a one-on-one situation, and Wardell is somehow able to find the wallbang on Android. An impressive round for him.
He's nuts.
Completely startled, but still able to collect himself and win the clutch, the 1v2 there. He is really making a name for himself in his final game of the season.
He's making a name for himself, and that name is Waldell. I stole that from chat.
Baldard. Want to change the words around, but that kind of sounds a little weird. I like Waldell a little better too.
Look at Ghost. They're all clustered right together, and it's like they just want to end this quick, and they rush immediately into B with the exception of Rick, who sees behind and watches the flank, and they dodge and just ready and waiting for the push. Now Ghost, they start mowing people down, but very quickly they take losses of their own, and now Death and Slummy, the last two players left, very, very low HP. It's going to be tough for them to make it through here. Slummy spam down, and it looks like this is all she wrote. Death shot in the back as he attempts an escape. And that seals it out. Ghost Gaming, they take it.
Yeah, pretty tense game, actually. Just pretty huge mountain for the compLexity players to climb, but that is going to seal their fate and their prize money for the season. Ghost still going to be moved to Premier in the upcoming season, but we have been your hosts, Maui Snake and Mazer. I'm just going to plug ourselves one more time. My Twitter is twitter.com/MauiSnake. You can find all my social media there, and I'll let Mazer do the same.
And find me at MazerCSGO, as Maui Snake mentioned earlier. Thank you so much for sticking with us throughout the night. I appreciated the kind words especially. And this was a fun game to cast, and I hope you see more of me and Maui behind the desk at the ESL Pro League next season.
You can only hope for it. And we'd like to shout out our producer who has been with us all night, running ads for us, being the observer, and being the silent voice behind the production.
And by silent, we mean not silent. Very annoying.
What's
I love Kilroy.
Yeah, Kilroy. Kilroy, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing all the dirty work for us. It's a job that goes underappreciated, but we appreciate you. Show some love to Kilroy in the chat, please.
We appreciate everyone, especially the viewers at home, but we're going to go to bed before we make any more gaffes in our sign-off. So good night, everybody.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESL.